Welcome. Today, I don't have an exact topic. I don't have an exact topic today. That's okay. Not life sometimes doesn't have to be exactly how you want it to be. But I do have written in my notes that I want to create a video about the power of saying no. And so if I just implant that into my mind and speak about it, I believe we'll get some cool results. So I've also been trying to find the most aesthetic camera angle. And I feel like this is pretty good. We got some of the stuff in the back. We got my room in the back. There's little Easter eggs everywhere, and if you focus hard enough, you'll see them. You know what I mean? And also, bottom left right here, we're just gonna light this. Have a little more aesthetics going on. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. Yeah, so I just came out the shower. That's why my hair is wet. So, yeah, man. I was not expecting that much smoke. Golly. That was not meant to happen. Right. So I'm not entirely sure what the I want this video to be about. And I suppose that is the beauty in it, is that I don't know, and that I just have to find out. And that's the beauty in life, is that a lot of the things that you are afraid of or you're scared of, you actually don't even know if you're scared of them. The only reason you're scared of them is because you actually don't know the outcome of being in that predicament. I'm also trying to figure out how I want my hat to look today. If I want the hat at all. But you know what? I think the hat on is actually a good vibe today. And so yeah, we're just gonna stay with this vibe for now. And again, this is all off the top. This is not scripted. But anyways, I have in my notes a video idea of the power of saying no. And if I think about that, the power of saying no. So in life, I believe that everything is your choice. Everything that happens to you is your choice in some way or another, besides literally things that no one can control. So, if you're born disabled, you didn't control that. But it is your choice of how you decide to move within it. So you can either believe that you're at a lower place because of your misfortunes, or you can change the outcome. You can change the way that life has put this obstacle in your way. So I'm currently reading this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I got put on by one of my friends, one of my buddies, one of my boys, one of the people I make music with. And I got put on and I started reading it. It's very good. I'm about halfway through at this point. About halfway, maybe a little less. But in the book, he talks about how his son was born with no ears. The author's son was born with no ears. And doctors said that his son would never be able to hear. Ever. Just ever. But the author, he did not want that to happen. He was not going to accept that outcome. He said, no, And he did everything in his power to make his son believe that he was just like the other kids. He was just as able. He was just as gifted. He was just as powerful, you know? If anything, he taught his son that his son is even more gifted, you know? And so throughout the years, they found that if they spoke very close to his, like where his eardrums would be, the vibrations, he would be able to hear them. And so eventually they built a way of communicating, and but they refused for the son to learn sign language because they believed that he was just as capable as the other kids. Eventually, he got, I believe, what someone decided to like send them a product, like a prototype of hearing aids, and the son tried them, and he could. They worked, or they were not as good as something. Okay, this is where it gets blurry in my memory. But I remember that he tried the hearing aid, and he finally was able to hear. And from then on, it was just crazy, you know. Like his whole life got flipped over, flipped upside down, just because the father and the son. The son holy now, but the author, the father, and then the son with no with no ears, they both believed in the fact that the son could hear, and the hearing aid worked. You know, he put on the hearing aid, worked, and then I believe when he grew up, he started working for the company that made the hearing aid, so that they could improve it and make it even better. And so through that, the son went on to teach, and he went on to show other kids with deafness how to cope with life type beat. And so that story is very powerful, and also it just shows that it's all about how you perceive life, whether you choose to say yes or no. Power of saying no is you don't accept the reality that you're handed, and you do the reality that you want. You force life to give you what you want. In another reality, the author could have easily saw that his son didn't have any ears and been like, damn, this sucks. My son can't hear ever, and just accepted that fact. And even after the story, it said that the son got examined by a doctor, and the doctor himself said, like, yo, it literally should be impossible for the son to even hear using the hearing aid. And so it just shows whatever you believe, you can you can make happen. And so the power of saying no is extremely powerful, because at the end of the day, you don't have to do anything. Nothing can make you do anything. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, if you really wanted to, you could literally stand in a corner of a room, and you could just like you may say, "Oh, but I have to do something." Cuz if I'm doing nothing, then eventually I'm going to need to eat, I'm going to need to drink, I'm going to need to use the toilet, I'm going to need to, do all these things. But realistically, if you really wanted to do nothing, you could literally stand in a corner until you starve to death. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do a single thing. It is all up to you. And this is once you realize that everything is in your hands, it adds this freedom, yet freedom adds this responsibility, because once you gain freedom, then it's actually your choice on where you decide to go, where you decide to move. It's like when you're in a prison cell, there's only four walls which you're within, and you can move within these four walls, and that's all you're used to. That's all you're you've been moving for however long. Like that's all you've been in for however long. And so if randomly, say your entire existence you've been in these four walls, and you've been moving within these four walls, and you believe that there's nothing outside of these four walls, and one day the door to your jail cell just opens, and the outside is literally infinite, how many people do you think will actually go outside? Do you think that they would actually go outside of those four walls? Or is it more likely that they will stay inside those four walls and just stay with something that they know? And that is the blessing and curse of freedom. Because once you gain freedom, the possibilities are literally endless. They're literally unlimited. But it also incites fear, because that means all the responsibility of that freedom is up to you, and you have to make sure that you do your best. And a lot of people are not ready for that. They don't want it. As much as they want to say that they do, it's like you don't actually want to be free. You just like complaining about your situation without opening that jail door. A lot of the time, that jail door isn't even locked, but people don't even check if it is or not. And that's the blessing and curse of freedom. So it's all about agreeing or disagreeing. It's all about your consent. It's all about saying yes or no. The power of saying no is you can say no to the circumstances that you don't like. And once you start saying no, then you realize you have all the power. When you believe that things have power over you, you have no power. But when you believe that you can say no to all the things that are negative in your life, then it feels like you have all the power. And again, power is scary because you don't know what to do with all that power, because you've never had that power before. And so it's all just a choice. Like, you can exist in your reality, and you could be taught to do all these things. And through repetition is also very important, but through repetition, you start to learn what you can and what you can't do. Or better said, what you believe you can and can't do. So if you're raised around people that are always negative, or always believing that they can't do this, can't do that, that they are always in lack, that reflects onto you, and you start to believe the things that they believe. And this is why through repetition, you can make yourself believe anything. You can, because if you don't believe that you have the power to say no, you just won't be able to say no. But through repetition, you can make yourself believe anything. So once you believe that you have the power to say no, then that's when you start to have the power to say no. And again, none of this is scripted. I didn't write anything for this. So I'm trying to piece together a coherent video without any structure. Because at the end of the day, that's what I find fun. I'm just doing this for fun, and I'm just doing this to recycle my thoughts within my own brain, so I can process it better anyways. And that's what I mean how I'm doing this for myself. If y'all hear this and you're like, yo, this sounds cool, I enjoy hearing this, then that makes, that's cool. I'm happy. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying all these things so that I can grasp them better myself. And that's the point of these videos. The point of these videos is to almost journal my thoughts. And also to do cool stuff. And also to just have fun. And I'm just having fun by talking about this kind of stuff, Because I've been learning a lot about it. I've been learning a lot about how your thoughts influence things, how your intentions influence things. Because I want my life to be great. And my life already is great. And I want to achieve all the things that I want to achieve. And I know that I will achieve all the things that I want to achieve. But I also believe that everything happens for a reason. And if anyone sees this and gets inspired, then me doing this is worth it, rather than me just sitting in my room and thinking about it. And so, power of saying no. If you don't like your circumstances, you can change them. You can change them. You may tell me you don't know my circumstances. And you're right, I don't know your circumstances, but I know that you can change them. You can be like, oh, but I've been in this job for X amount of years. I have these people relying on me. I have this and that and this and that. At the end of the day, the reality is you don't have to do any of anything. It's your choice whether you want to do something. And yeah, you may be right. You may be right that people are relying on you, that you can't just quit everything. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, you can start to think. Because when you start to think, ideas come to you. And through thinking, through just sitting there and just allowing the thoughts to flow and come from the ether, you will figure something out. You will figure something out. Something will come to you and you'll be like, how did I not think of this before? Because sometimes you just get thoughts. Like, a lot of the times you get thoughts from your past experiences and your memories. But sometimes you just get thoughts and you have no idea where they came from. And if you just sit there and think about your situation, about what you want to change, the more you think about it, the more inclined it is that an idea will come into your mind where you're like, okay, never thought of this before. This is what I'm going to do now. And that's literally it. I can't sit here and tell you, yes, here's exactly how you change your entire life, because I don't know your life. But I know that if you sit there long enough, you will think of a way to get from the place that you are to the place that you want to be. As much, like, all it takes is you wanting to do that. And you gotta want it bad. You gotta want it badly enough. I've seen crazy changes in my own self through me wanting to change. I'll literally be the person to tell you that I've done the things that I thought were impossible. Because ask anybody that's known me for more than 2 years, and they'll tell you that I'm literally a different person than I was 2 years ago. And not in the sense of I changed just because of change, but I've changed for the person that I've wanted to become. I've changed in a way where it's like, damn, bro, I've actually done the things that I wanted to do. I've become way more confident, way more certain in what I want, way more decisive. I've become way more accepting of the fact that people are all their own individual selves, but at the same time, we're all one. So you just have to love them regardless. All these things I've learned, man. And I'm not saying this to boast. I'm just saying that I've done the things that I thought were impossible, because 2 years ago I felt like I I felt like the person that I am now was an impossible standard. Like my whole life up to my 21st birthday, which was last December, and that's when I really started to change for the better. But since I was, I would say, 18, I've started that journey, that slow journey. And the journey is your entire life. It's just when you actually become conscious of the things that you were thinking about, that's when it feels like it actually starts. Because then it's like, okay, well, I think about this all the time. Well, what if I stop thinking about these negative things all the time and I start thinking about these positive things all the time? At first, it's going to feel sickening because all you think about is negative, and that's all you're conditioned to think about. So when you think about positive, you feel, oh, I'm corny. Ugh, why am I, like, ugh, this obviously is not going to happen. Ugh, like, but again, repetition. Once you repeat, eventually you're gonna believe it, and eventually it's gonna be easier to believe these positive things. And through thinking of these positive things, then you're gonna start doing more positive things, and then you're gonna start changing into a more positive person, and therefore the negative doesn't have such a hold on you as it once did. And that's all in the power of saying yes to something and no to something, because everything is a choice. You can sit here and tell me, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do this. And that's you using the power of saying no. You're saying no to change, and you're going to stay in the place that you're going to stay at. And you can keep screaming at the world, at the universe, at the ether, at anything that you believe that, oh, I deserve a better life. Oh, I deserve this. I deserve that. But I'm sitting in this low vibration space where nothing is getting done and everything feels negative, and you're getting angry at the world, but you're never looking at yourself, and you're never choosing to say no at your circumstances, and you're never choosing to put yourself out of that situation. You're just sitting there and waiting for something to come to you. And even if something came to you, you'd be so engrossed in your own situation that you wouldn't even see the possibility. You wouldn't even see the opportunity. And that's the thing. When you become more positive, when you become more accepting of you being able to change your perspective, of you being able to change your environment, of you being able to change your mindset, that's when you can start to see opportunities. Because a lot of the time, opportunities are everywhere, and you just have to open your eyes and you have to look around and see them. You may even think to yourself, once you start to change, that you see you've had an opportunity your entire life that you've never decided to even embark on, because you were so negative that you didn't even see it. You know what I mean? This is the crazy thing. Like my whole life, I felt so negative. I felt so antisocial. I felt so unconfident. I felt so lazy, so unmotivated, so scared, so fearful. And I never realized the gifts that I have. Like, I've never realized the opportunities that I possess. I never realized any of the things that I have, because I was so focused on all these negative things that I was attracting to myself through just constantly thinking about them. And I just built this whole persona of like, oh, this is just how things are. This is just how things are. I'm never gonna change, never gonna get out of this cycle. This is just life. Life is the way it is. For me not to start saying negative things, it's just you can fulfill you can fill the puzzle in your mind. And yeah, I thought that's just the way life is. I just thought, wow, this is just the way life is. And I'm not gonna say the main issue I have with this kind of stuff is I know people go through hardships, and when someone speaks about things like this, it almost makes the people that go through hardships feel angry, because it's like, Well, you can sit here in your room. There's no fucking holes in your roof. No one's trying to kill you. You're fed. You have clothes on your body. You can go anywhere unrestricted. Your life is rainbows and butterflies. And then there's people sitting in situations that are 30 million times worse than mine. And they look at me and they're like, how dare you speak about these things? How dare you say that I can change this, that, X, Y, and Z? It's like, that's the thing. I'm not trying to say that I know everything. I'm just speaking from my perspective of how I've been able to do the things that I've been able to do, and I'm still doing and I'm still in the process of doing. I know people go through hardships. I've gone through hardships in my life. And yes, I've been in those places where people were like, just be more positive. Just think about happy shit. Just be more happy. Oh, just do breathing exercises. Oh, just do 5 push-ups. Oh, just take your vitamins. And it like when you're in that space and people say things like that, it pisses you off because you think to yourself, you're like, bro, that's not gonna help me. And you're right. If you believe that it's not gonna help you, it's not gonna help you. And that's the power of your mind. That is the power of how you think, what you do. And what I'm trying to say with these things is you just have to have an open mind. You have to have an open mind to these things. As annoying as it is to hear someone blabber on and be like, wow, you're so fortunate. You're in this position. I'm in this position. How can I ever take what you say serious? Because people might see me and they might think, wow, this guy has never been through any hardships and he's sitting here saying all these things. But I've been through my hardships. You've been through yours. Everyone's gone through something in their life. No matter the scale, we all know what hardship looks like. And through that hardship, we grow and evolve. And so keep an open mind. You don't have to listen to anything I say. And that's the power of saying no. You can literally hear everything I say and be like, no, I don't agree with you. And that's your choice. And you'll be right in your own respect. And that's beautiful. I love that. I love that. I love that. And so, yeah, man, I'm going to prove to everybody that it's possible to attain the highest of the highest through the power of your thought. I'm going to prove it to everybody. And I know people are still going to doubt, but that's okay. I've already proven it to myself. And I know that it's possible. And it's all in the process of coming to me. I'm going to prove it to everybody. I'm going to attain the success that I imagine within my music, within my financials, within my projects, my businesses, whatever I embark on, I know I will gain success. And whoever wants to listen to me can listen to me. Whoever doesn't. That's the power of saying no. No one can make you do anything in this world. People say, oh, I gotta go get a job. No, you don't. I gotta go get married. No, you don't. I gotta go have kids. No, you don't. I gotta eat food. No, you don't. I gotta drink water. No, you don't. You don't gotta do nothing. It's all your choice. I choose to drink food. I choose to work out. I choose to take care of myself. I choose to do all these things. I'm gonna choose to speak, and I'm gonna choose to create. I'm gonna choose to succeed. Thank you so much. I love you. Let the words sink in if you're interested. And if you have any thoughts of your own, feel free to discuss them in the comments. I shall reply to everybody. We can have a discussion. And yeah, man, I'll see y'all later.